We are live.
All right.
Melvis,
Hey,
what's going on, man?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You gigged this weekend
Yes.
and you hurt yourself?
Well, yeah, but I'm okay now.
You're okay now.
Yeah.
No.
My shoulder's just back to normal. Kind of knocked it into, I don't know, but it feels better than it did.
Falling down every once in a while.
Falling down the ramp. Yeah.
You
All
fell
right.
on your shoulder too?
Oh, God. Both of my shoulders are shot. And I'm a drummer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Indiana Rocks. Proud to have joining us tonight. He is a musician's musician. He's a singer. He's a songwriter.
Plays many
instruments. Has played with some incredible people. Opened up for some incredible people. And is an incredible person himself. The one and only J. Michael Henderson joins us. J. Michael.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a hard act to follow there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Or are you talking to me?
Well, let's start out. Since you and Mel kind of have something. Mel Cup, drummer with Primeval, back in the day. Adam Smasher, when he was on the show with Adam Smasher, said they were too dark and too dangerous to play on the radio. But the thing you have in common is both Primeval and yourself recorded at 700 West with Mo Whittemore.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. We were there in the fall of '73 doing our record. And
they were the founders. They were more long before than me.
Yeah, it was released in January of '74. So right before I was 18 years old. But that was, I couldn't believe I heard that you recorded out there.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Is Mo a trip or what?
He's quite a character. Quite a character.
He's a genius, a mad genius.
He is a genius.
And guys, share for the crowd the setup, because it wasn't like he had what would be called a conventional studio.
No, it was a conventional living room. And he had his little, he had the window, and then he was back in a little nook and cranny there in the, the living room.
That was his dining room. Remember the control room?
Yeah. The control room was the dining room. And Betty kept coming out and trying to feed us.
Betty was his wife, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, his kids were running around everywhere. Little Mark and David and his daughter Bobby.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun, man. He made it fun.
J. Michael, when did you record there?
Well, I did it the first week. I don't know if it was the first week of January of '76, but it was one of the weeks in January. It was 6 days straight, and it was one of the weeks in January of the '76.
And you were in Muncie at that time.
Well, south of Muncie was where my cabin in the woods was, and I would drive down to the studio down at New Palestine, and it was below zero. It was so cold, and I had to get home when I would go be there for 14, 16 hours recording days, and then drive home, and in that weather, and I had only a wood stove to keep warm, and so I tried and bank the fire as much as possible, but it was cold when I got home. It was I don't know what it was, but it was really cold. So I had to do a big job getting the fire going again. And my dog was there, my Saint Bernard Jude, waiting for me, and that was it. But then next day, and all that. But it was fun. It was fun. I didn't look at it as hard work. I looked at it as cold, but it was fun.
So
Gotta be fun.
It was fun because I was experimenting. I was doing things that I'd never done before. I'd recorded before a lot, quite a bit, but I had never done a whole album by myself, playing all the instruments and producing it and doing everything. I didn't know what it was going to turn out to be like. I knew what I wanted it to be, but sometimes you don't get that.
What album was that?
That was To Make the Night Complete.
To Make the Night Complete. And if I'm not mistaken, you played every instrument on there except for the percussion parts and
except for drums, drums and percussion.
And Dave Barnes did all the drums?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic job.
Dave's one of my idols.
I can see that, man. One of mine too.
Yeah.
I wanted to punch it up because my music had always been a lot lighter. Not totally lighter because I had some bands, some pretty beefy bands, but on the whole, especially when I'm solo, it was a lot more, a lot lighter, and I wanted to. I knew Dave would give it what I wanted. He'd punch it up, and he did. He really, he did a fantastic job.
And you can find J. Michael's music on YouTube. You can also purchase it through Amazon, and we'll talk more about that. More about that coming up. Let's go back. Let's go back to a band at Ball State called The Other Five.
Okay.
All right. And how did that happen?
As I remember, I'm not sure how the word got out, but there was they all went to Ball State, and I was still in school. And
okay, I thought you were at Ball State already.
Oh no, I was only 13 when I joined. You got to do your homework, Barry.
I'm sorry, brother. I missed that one.
No, that's why I said I don't know how the word got out but Dan Koontz, the drummer, a wild man. He was a wild man, but what a hell of a drummer he was. He studies. He's a chiropractor in Arizona now, but boy, I'll tell you, he was a hell of a drummer. But we knew each other, but he was still like 5 years older than me. But I knew a lot of the older people. I was the youngest in my family, so all my brothers and sisters were. I mean, I've got a brother that's 12 years older than me, one that's 6 years older than me, and a sister that's almost 4 years older than me. So I knew a lot of the older people. And somehow I got called to come and audition for The Other Five. And today, I guess, I don't know. I really don't know. Barry and Mel, I don't know how. I can't remember. That was so long ago. I don't remember who knew what and what all that. But I knew I got a phone call to audition for him. And there was Dave Martin was another guy that was in the band at the time. He's only 3 years older than me. He was still at Burris, I think. But anyway, so I went over there and I met all the guys, and they were all at Ball State. In fact, two of them were seniors, getting ready to graduate, and then one was his freshman, one was his sophomore. I think that was the ranking. But I auditioned, and I think I was a bit nervous as I remember correctly. But I got the job, and it wasn't quite sealed yet. They wanted to. I came home and told my mom and dad, and they weren't as happy about it as I was.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah, that's
Well,
good.
Well, because all these guys, getting their son, all wrapped up in alcohol and marijuana was getting pretty popular then at the time.
Yeah.
This was back in 60. Go see that if I 66, I believe. This was quite a while ago.
10.
And then my mom wanted to make sure that they had seatbelts in the van. That's the kind of mom I had. So she invited them over for a cookout. It was in the summer of 66. It was 65 or 66. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was 65. But they invited them over for a cookout so she could check out the van,
Yeah.
make sure the seatbelts in there, and
Good old
and they had,
mom.
and plus they wanted to make sure they were, steady Eddie kind of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame her.
Boy off.
I don't blame her at all. I would have done the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they did have seatbelts in the van, and they were nice enough guys. They were like Eddie Haskell's around her. Gee, Mrs. Henderson, what a lovely dress you had.
Hey, Wally. Where's the warden?
Uh,
Boy, those are nice curtains, Mrs. Henderson. Not quite that. They weren't quite that, but
Yeah.
they were nice,
yeah.
And then I was with the band for a while. I mean, things went so fast back in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went. You could in your mind you could say, oh, I was with that band for 2 years, I think, and it could have only been 6 months.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really speaking, but no, I think it was longer than 6 months. But it wasn't, and it wasn't 2 years. It was less than a year, I think.
Okay.
But I don't remember how I got out of them, but
Don't remember if the band broke up or if.
No, they kept going. But I've learned that I'm a pretty optimistic person, and one shuts, one always leads to another. All you have to do is keep your eyes open, keep your heart open, look for the silver lining. And I can explain something further about that later on, but it's even more,
Mm-hmm.
more in depth. But I had a great. I don't remember how I left the band, why or how or anything, but it was on great terms. I'm still friends with all of them.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's so.
That's great. You can break up and still be good buddies.
The
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, so
In fact, let me
yeah.
insert this. They went up and opened up for Eric Clapton with Cream when Clapton was Cream, Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker.
Whoa!
I mean, I knew you guys
serious.
were good. I knew you guys were good, but I didn't know it was that level.
Oh, what? Well, the music speaks for itself.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna toot anybody's horn or anything, but it was a good band. Otherwise, it was a great band actually. And
Yeah.
they used to sit me on a stool to share a mic with Glenn, the bass player, because he was so tall and I was short. Yeah. And it was kind of like a novelty around the girls' dorms. Cute little 13-year-old playing with the band. He has to stand on a stool. But no, they did. They opened up. It was Cream. I don't think there was even an opening act. It was a Morris Civic Auditorium.
Wow.
And Mike Ryan, who's still around, that guy, and they're all still living except for Jabe Christman, rest his heart. He was the keyboard player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how he passed away, or nobody knows. It was down in Alabama. He lived down there. Moved down there a bit. But Mike Ryan, he chartered a bus. Check this out. He chartered a bus and invited all of his, like the guy. He lived in a dorm at Ball State, and had many of the guys in on his floor in his hall come on and myself included, come along with him for the show.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is
Isn't that wild?
yeah. Okay, let's move forward a little bit.
Okay.
And a band called Lone Star.
All right.
Who was in Lone Star?
Well, it had several different configurations.
That's
I'll just briefly. It was when I started it. I had come back from California. I was playing in Vail, Colorado, and I met another guy who was playing with another guy, and we were jamming, doing this summer jam out by the pool in back of the Vail Village Inn, and everybody got to hear each other, and I got to hear these two guys, and they were very good, and I had just started writing at the time. Just I only think I had 2 or 3 songs maybe, but and they had some novice original songs as well, and to make a long story short, I teamed up with one of them and brought him back to Muncie. He was from Denver. He'd never been. I don't think he had ever been east of Denver. but he had like a real strong, rugged lumber guy, flannel shirt, that kind of. And I thought he could handle the woods, cabin, and so I brought him back, and we started Lone Star, and it was just the two of us. In fact, there's a picture somewhere of us in front of the Ball State Arts Building, where we're sitting out on the Arts Terrace playing music it was a September day, and there's all kinds of people all gathered around us. It was just the two of us, and I was on the front page of the monthly paper, and a friend of mine, Dave Meeks, who owned Mortuary. What do you call that when you make plastic out of something that you use paper?
Laminate.
He laminated it.
Yeah.
And sent it to me, which was so sweet. The guy, he was such a good man. Anyway, I still have that. I think that's on one of the Facebook collages I've got.
And since you mentioned Facebook, make sure you follow J. Michael Henderson on Facebook, follow Mel on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. But if you follow them, mention Indiana Rocks so that everybody knows it's not one of the scammers, because man, they're
there's all over.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you friend and all.
That's right.
Yeah.
So and continuing with that, just a brief. Then that was the two of us, and then we got Gary Checkeye on bass. And Gary, I just spoke with Gary about an hour ago. I'm friends with everybody I've known. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better. I don't know what you would call it, just relationship with
network of friends.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't. I couldn't ask for a better network of friends, and so. Gary was playing bass for a while, and Tony Robinson. Tony's around in Muncie. Played drums for a short time, and that was it. It was Mike Fleming. Michael Fleming is the man from Denver that I brought back, and he lives in L.A. and very, very good friend of mine still. We in fact, I'm going to post something on Facebook that we did in my living room before I left LA, before I moved back here. It was kind of like a 50-year or a 54-year reunion we had, and just the two of us.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
But then we've had other ones with Tony when Tony lived out in LA, the drummer,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to hear Michael play with his Western band at the Gene Autry auditorium, and so so anyway, so that was one. That was the beginning of Lone Star, and it was on Lone Star because Lone Star was written on the door. It was not stenciled. It was the letters were tacked onto the door, and they were like plastic letters, I think, and tacked onto the wooden front door of the cabin. And I don't know where that came from. I had no idea that meant Texas. I just liked the name Lone Star. That sounds cool, and so that was the name of the band.
And you guys played the WNAP raft race, which, man, those things were awesome.
Yeah,
they
were.
didn't last long, but
well, yeah, insurance.
Yeah,
they were fantastic. I got to play at all three of those of the ones that.
That's
awesome. Oh yeah, well that was two more. That was two last up to the future. Fast Pace. That was two Lone Stars later. That played in that. And we played at the second raft race. I played solo at the first and third, and then the band played we played the second one.
Was Phil Griffith in that band?
I sure was, and I've got some photos of that too. There weren't a whole bunch taken, but actually he provided the photos that were on stage. And Rick Boer wasn't in the.
Rick Boer was the drummer.
Rick Boer was the drummer, but he wasn't in the frame, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew Rick from Newcastle.
Are you from Newcastle now?
Oh well, I'm from right down the road. I don't know.
We're from rural Henry County.
Yeah,
Kennard. Yeah, Newcastle was the big city.
That was the big hub. Well, so what? Yeah. Where were you? I know there's others like Cambridge City, I think, right?
Yeah, Cambridge City's to the east.
Yeah.
Spiceland's south of Newcastle, and Kennard is northwest.
Yeah, west of Newcastle.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
and we all went to Newcastle for fun.
Right. Everybody in the county went to Newcastle for fun because that was the big city, and
Yeah.
And
that's where you got your alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
No.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't want to plug any of the. I don't think it's even still there.
Don't think it's even still there. And then Mel and I and Larry Lucas and a guitar player named Joe Cripps, we played in the basement of my house for what seemed like you were talking about how time went faster than it seemed like we played down there for freaking ever.
Yeah.
But it was probably 9-10 years.
Yeah, probably. That's
and
pretty much forever.
Yeah. And so
what'd you play, Barry?
Bass.
Okay,
the most important instrument.
Section?
Yeah.
We're on the rhythm section.
We could do a Grand Funk trio.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we are, of course, we're coming up on the end of our first season of Indiana Rocks. This is show number 23, believe it or not. They've allowed us to keep doing this, and people continue to watch, and we thank everybody for that. But we're talking about putting together, because everybody that's been on here is so incredibly talented and gifted, and we want to celebrate everybody. So now that
that's cool.
Now that you've been on the show, you are officially a member of the Indiana Rocks Hall of Fame, and we want to have a gathering of all the musicians that we've had on the show, and and maybe have some people get up and play and try to raise some money for a charity.
Well, that sounds cool. Yeah,
So-
I'm up for it.
All right, cool.
That's
Do
awesome.
All
I
right.
get sent a bottle cap or anything kind of, any kind of award?
Well, sure.
We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out.
Get you a T-shirt. We got to get some.
That's
hats
what we
made.
need to do.
Yeah.
We got T-shirts, and these are the only two in existence at the moment. If people decide they want them, we're going to have some made. But that's what we might do, is just have an Indiana Rocks Hall of Fame.
I think you're doing a cool thing, man.
Thank you, man. In all seriousness, yeah,
it's needed. It's needed,
Yeah, we want to keep live music going.
yeah. The way we look at it, J. Michael, is we want to honor the past. We want to promote the present and encourage the future.
That's good. That's a good theory to have. I was at an event not too long ago here in Indiana. Well, I was actually up in Noblesville, and I was talking to a lady who was I don't know. I guess she was in her 50s, maybe, and I was asking her about something. It was about someone a popular, someone internationally known, and she didn't. It was about 25 years ago or something like that. 25 years ago, they had number one hits, and she didn't know. She didn't know who they were, and it's just amazing how time flies so fast. That it's a generational thing that people just don't know. They don't know what you think they're going to know,
Right.
because you know it so well. And because if you're a musician, then music is your life.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty much all you think about. It's all I think about. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm pretty dumb to everything else.
Me too.
I'm a musician,
I'm with you.
you know what I'm saying. And that's all I care about. That's all my dad was a doctor, but I disappointed him as being a musician until I had some hits on the radio. Then he started selling he and Mom started selling my albums to friends, to their friends at parties, and giving me the money.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
I wasn't asking them for it. They were kind of like a Ward and June Cleaver. That's the kind of people they were. I wouldn't ask them for it, but they they were. And then when I started playing, my goal when I started playing, I grew up two blocks away from Emmons Auditorium in Ball State. Okay, so I was literally in the garage band. I got a band together when I was 10, and when I was 8, I started almost 9. I started playing guitar, if I remember correctly, and I used to practice on the porch, my front porch, by myself, because the neighbors could hear me.
That's dedication.
And then when I got the drummer from down the street, and the bass player from down the street the other direction. The keyboard player was about 3 or 4 houses down. The qualifications is, first, you want to be in a band, and second, you had an instrument already, or you're in a verge of getting one. And the third is you lived on the same street. So that was the qualifications for the first band. But I had something on my mind. I forget what I was going to say.
Well, you were talking about Emmons Auditorium, and oddly enough, that was the next thing I was getting ready to lead into. Melvis, how good were the Michael brothers?
I saw you guys open up for Pablo Cruz.
And that was at Emmons Auditorium, and you fulfilled your dream that night.
Well, I filled it for 4 that actually.
Okay, all right.
But thank you, I appreciate that.
I thought that was a great concert.
We had Mark Christopher Rohrman on, and he was talking about that show that he got hired like 4 days before he found out you guys were opening for Pablo Cruz in Emmons. Yeah,
that was great. No, when I was I was out in Colorado, and I flew back. No. For that one, I was in California with a future partner of mine that you know of. That was in the Michael Brothers also, but I had flown back that day, and that well, not of that concert, of a different one, and I opened for Firefall at Emmons solo.
Okay. All right. That was the first time you played there.
That was the first time I played
Right.
there.
Okay. All right.
I played there 3 times all total.
What's it like, man? What's it like fulfilling your dream? What's it like walking out onto the stage that you always dreamed about walking out on?
It's something. It's something, you know. It's something quite beautiful, miraculous, you know. Pinch material.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, in fact, and when I played solo, my mom and my grandmother and the housekeeper all came together. They all, because that was a big deal. I mean, to see her, for my mom especially, to see, you know, we play at Emmons, and because they'd go there to see, they went there to see Johnny Mathis and you know, all kinds of people, Peter Nero, and everybody played. Everybody that was anybody, you know, internationally known, you know, played at Emmons when they came to Ball State. And so, you know, they would come, and that made me feel, I felt nervous about having them come and see me, generally, because I didn't think they'd like it, because it wasn't their kind of music. But, you know, that was my problem. But they were, you know, very happy about it. And then my dad came back at one of them also, one of the concerts I did there. But yeah, that was great.
It's awesome, man.
So you've opened for an incredible list of people. We just mentioned Pablo Cruz. Three Dog Night was at the State Fair recently here the past couple of weeks, and you opened for Three Dog Night. Joe Walsh, REO. I mean, Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing how far a guy from Muncie, Indiana went, you know, and you just kind of, when you look at it, it's just kind of like, man, how incredibly cool.
Yeah.
You know, and again, we're glad to be able to help you tell your story. Do you
oh, it's nice of you. Thank you.
Do you have I'm sure you got tons of stories from opening for all these different people. Was there somebody that just went beyond expectations? Let's say it was like, okay, I don't know. And once you actually saw them, it was like, I mean, for me, I wasn't a huge Prince fan until I saw him live and realized how incredibly talented he was. Did you run across anybody like that where it was, you know, you just were blown away by how good they really were in person?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, I toured with Three Dog Night, and that's a melancholy experience, and that's only because on the last leg of the tour, the last day of the tour, my dog died.
Oh
no!
I don't mean to bring a bad note up, because
that's all right. That's all right. Mel told a story about Three Dog Night, and they're still looking for him. So.
There you go. Good. That's the spirit. I need some levity. So, no, but I mean, the Three Dog Night's band was so fantastic, and when I played with them, it was all the original members. That's the thing. I played with almost everyone at their height of their career.
That's awesome.
And the original, it was all the original members. You know, the three, Corey, Chuck, and Danny, and the band all the same band, Floyd Steen on drums, etc. Jimmy Green's all original guys, and man, what a tight band! Jesus,
Oh yeah.
really, really tight band. I mean, so many of them were Fleetwood Mac.
Rod Stewart. What about Rod Stewart?
Pardon me.
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart was interesting. I toured with him too. I did more than one day, and played up at Notre Dame with him. I did that as a solo. Most of them I did solo. That up at Notre Dame and then at Bloomington at IU at the auditorium there. And he had a interesting setup. That was the first time I had seen concert PAs hanging from the ceiling rather than being on stage.
Yeah, they had them flying.
And that was that was ahead of its time. I mean,
it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
This was in '75, and the stage was all white carpet, and he was dressed in a whitish kind of outfit, and then they had all the amps were fake in back of them because they were huge stacks, but they were like little. They could have been a twin or a one stack Marshall in back of them, mic'd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it could have. In fact, it had to be because they were just huge white amps, and then there was a white. I don't know what you would call it. It was like it was a stair step on both sides with a platform on top, and all white. And then they had a seven-piece string orchestra on top that he had on there. This was in '75, and that was and of course his band was great. Yeah, Ron Wood, who was with. Well, it was Rod Stewart and Faces tour. So,
okay.
If that helps describe who was in the band,
yeah,
it was Faces. It wasn't Small Faces. Ron Wood was the guitar player who's ended up being with the Stones for all these years. But that was so long ago, man. So, and then I can't remember the guy. The other guitar player, guy was Hawaiian, and I forget his name. One of you may know what I'm talking about. But that was the one in Faces on that tour, and I don't know any of that.
I don't remember
the other guys. No.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you, one gig that I had that does stick out in my mind in particular.
Please.
Was in New York in January of 1977. As opposed to '76 when their first album came out. My manager, which was Dave Lucas of Sunshine Promotions. Sunshine was who brought all the bands to Muncie, if you remember correctly.
We had Steve Sabisma on the show.
Okay, so Dave and Steve and Joe Haldeman were the three guys with Sunshine. And this is something you can even confirm with Dave when you talk to Dave. Dave was my manager at the time, one of the three guys of Sunshine, and on the way out in the plane, I don't know if you remember either you remember, but it was in. Well, just put it this way: it was in that month. Ringo was on the front cover of People magazine, and he had a monocle on one eye. And do either of you remember that?
I think I remember that.
That's pretty outstanding. Because it was Ringo and a monocle on his eye. It was all about the article was about Ringo's new fiance, which was Barbara Bach.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. So this is starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's that. So now let's go. That's on my way. That's on David. Dave and I both went out for this particular trip, and otherwise, Dave sent me out at least once, maybe twice. I don't remember, by myself to deal with the record company A&R people. I met Clive Davis out there and a bunch of people, and that was the year that More than a feeling.
Boston.
Boston had their first album out, and so that when I went to Epic in the one of the rooms, main rooms where they had all the desks, they had mobiles hanging with their album on it, or Boston's album hanging from it, on all of it, above every desk, all over the place. But anyway, so my deal was 2 nights. In fact, that's what my next album is. Well, I don't know if it's probably the next one. Next 1 or 2, I've got 2 live albums I'm doing next, because I've never done a live album before, but they've been already recorded, and I was at my peak then, so why not
get them out? Yes, please.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm proud of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to hear them.
Well, and the fact of who I played for. Anyway, the first night I did 2 sets each night, and I found out later these were all recorded. All those 4 sets were recorded, and so I've remastered those recordings and picked out the best of, because a lot of repeats, because two gigs a night, 2 nights in a row. That's.
So was Ringo at one of these gigs?
Well, maybe.
Anybody else prominent that might have been at these gigs?
Well, maybe. The first night, I believe it was the first set too. I can't be certain about that, but I think it was. I was forewarned by Dave that you never knew who was going to come in this club, because it was just a funky long club. He said, because it's in the music industry district, so a lot of execs would go there, as well as the artists would hang there too. And Jimmy, that lived right upstairs, like a 2-flight stairs, right up. His apartment was right above it, and he said, but you never know who's going to come on there. And there was some silhouette of a person by the mixing board, standing right there.
The best place to get the best sound is by the mixing board.
Well, he knew it, and he was there. He or she knew it, and I didn't know who it was. I couldn't see because of the lights and stage lights. Well, there wasn't a stage, but it was a kind of a stage. But a lot of people, Manhattan Transfer had played there, and a bunch of people. And so anyway, I saw this silhouette, and I remember what Dave said. I thought, boy, I better be on my best behavior. And then after the set was over, he or she came walking over to me, and then entered the light, and it was Billy Joel.
Oh, wow.
And he comes over to me and says, puts his hand out and goes, "Cool set, man, great set." And he said, and he looked under the Rhodes. I got through SIR, which is SIR Studio Instrument Rental. SIR back then was in all the big cities for all the bands coming through that didn't want to bring all their equipment. So they would have whatever, they had everything. And they were big time back then. SIR had studios out in LA, and I remember Stanley Clark coming out of one night when I was up in one of the buildings above it. And so, but anyway, he was looking under my keyboard and he said, "What are you doing with it? Your Rhodes, man. How are you getting that sound?" And I said, "Oh, it's nothing much. I just got this MXR here, plugged in this MXR."
Was it an orange MXR or a yellow MXR?
Or what?
Orange or yellow?
I believe it was orange.
Yeah. Okay.
So they would get, I ordered from SIR what I had back here in Muncie, or in Muncie at the time, and it was a Rhodes stage, because I stood up when I played then, and also I played left hand bass with either a mini Moog or a R-Bax. I used one of the two of those because I had both of those at one time, not at the same time, but I had both of them at one time or another, and I played it. And so, and I just told Billy, I said, just this MXR and my left hand on what I'm playing. I've got the whatever it was, the Rogue, the Moogs, or the Moog, or the ARP, the way I've got that setting, and the two of them, the way I've got them worked together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that was in January, and then when the band, the Murphy Henderson group, was driving back from L.A., that was Rick Boer. I called Murphy because I'd met him when I was with the Faith Band for a short time. We played in Huntington, West Virginia, opening for REO, and Murphy was the singer for REO at the time. And we got to talking about. I remember after the gig, we went to their motel room with them and hung with them for a while. Murphy and I were talking about unidentified flying objects, and I don't know why that just got on subject like that, and so we befriended each other, and then exchanged numbers and that kind of thing, and later on, I called him to get that trio together. I had an idea for a trio, and for Murphy and I trading off, because he's primarily a keyboard player, but he was a hell of a guitar player too, and I'm more of a or then I was more of a guitar player, but I also played keyboard, and so we would trade off accordingly. And Rick was our drummer, and so it was just he and I, and the drums, and the bass player was our left hand, whoever's on the keyboard.
Yeah, kind of like the Doors did.
I guess, now you say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Keyboard bass.
Keyboard bass. Like yeah. Okay. You kind of have taken us right to where I wanted to go with the last segment here.
Okay.
I don't know how many people know this, but Carl Story was not the only lead singer of the Faith Band. There was a time that J. Michael Henderson was the lead singer of the Faith Band. How did all that happen?
Oh, I don't know how to tell you. It's kind of a long story, but I'll say that it ended up. It couldn't have ended up better. It was perfect. The way it unfolded. It was like the way it cascaded. Let's put it that unfolded. Was like in a storybook kind of.
Carl got an invitation or a job offer to work with a band from France.
Yeah, they were called the Variations, and they were all French, and they were at the time located in somewhere in Ohio. It was on this side of Ohio was Cincinnati or Dayton. I don't remember, but they had heard Faith Band was playing. Faith Band played at places over there from time to time, and they heard him, I guess, one place, and they took a fancy to him, to Carl especially, and so they asked him to join the band, and Carl was, he didn't know what to do because they could mean going, these guys were from France, and they were, as far as he knew, they were big time. You know what I'm saying? They'd made it, I don't know. I just remember we were painting my grandmother's office building and she paid us a little bit, more gratuities than anything else, but she paid us, and so Carl didn't know what to do, and I had my Lone Star Band. I was with Boer and Phil Smith and Phil Griffin. There's Big Phil, Little Phil, and Rick, and we were a hot band. I listened to some of the stuff, and in fact, my second Lost and Found album is with that particular configuration of Lone Star.
Nice.
Wow.
The first one was a different configuration, but I had a hell of a B3 player on the first Lone Star Volume 1 album, and Chris Ernst was the drummer, and George Ashmore was the Hammond B3 player.
George, I played in the band with George. He's
See,
a
it's
great
small world.
keyboard player. Yeah,
George was a hell of a B3 player.
he is.
No kidding. And so I mean, George, I was writing all kinds of different kinds of music then, because that was my first band, full band, after writing. And so, we were doing kind of country rock at first, and then I was some stuff that was more jazz oriented. I was writing, and George was playing B3 to country kind of backgroundish songs, and just doing a hell of a job on it, man. It just great job. And anyway, so that was that. And what was the question you asked me?
Okay, well, we were talking about that you replaced Carl Story
Oh yeah, okay.
in the Faith Band, and then Carl came back.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It could not have been a better. It could not have worked out better. Is what I'm saying. I'll just simply say that it didn't. For number one, I wasn't Carl. Carl's a certain style.
Oh,
It got as soon as you hear Carl's voice, you go, "That's Carl."
yeah.
I mean, he's got a
He has
beautiful,
unique voice.
unique voice that I haven't ever heard it duplicated.
No.
No,
And
he's got a great voice. So they wanted another Carl. They wanted Carl back, and one of the members, Barnsey and Johnny Casella, were very cool about everything. They treated me very good in that band.
John was a great guy.
Johnny
Oh,
Casella
yeah.
was awesome, and
So-
Barnesy is too.
Yeah, Barnes cracks.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So,
Dave Bennett is a monster guitar player, but he had a bit of a temper at times.
right, but we still got along. And but yeah, he does. Well, we all have our own
Yeah,
idiosyncrasies,
Yeah.
But so anyway, back to your question. It didn't. I was getting too much.
you're not
Pressure.
Carl.
I was getting too much pressure
Yeah,
Mhm.
from some of the members, or one of the members, or whatever. Anyway, whatever. So that's how they talk. That's how they talk where I'm from, out in California. At least the girls do. But so anyway, so it was then, it was shortly after. Well, it was. I felt horrible because I left my band. I left my band that I started,
yeah,
and they couldn't go on because we did all my own songs.
yeah.
And I felt like, man, I felt like a dirty turd.
Yeah,
Can I say that on the air?
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I said it.
yeah.
I'm sticking to it. But I felt horrible, and I just did. I thought, those guys hate me, and I don't blame them. I remember when I had to tell them that I was leaving the band. I invited them out to my cabin, and we sat all sat around the picnic table. And I get teary-eyed just thinking about it.
How many gigs did you do with Faith Band? Because we mentioned the REO that you opened for REO out in Virginia. How many gigs did you do with Faith Band?
Oh, several. I mean, they played a lot. And I did them with them. So the night before we did Huntington, West Virginia, we played it at the Bluebird in Bloomington.
Yeah.
So we played the Bluebird Saturday night, and we played in Huntington, West Virginia on Monday night.
Wow.
Driving. That's driving.
I don't know how many people know this part of the history
Yeah.
of it. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, sorry,
man,
Carl, if I let it out the bag, but
it's part of the story.
Yeah.
And everything worked out. Carl came back to Faith Band. You went back and continued your successes.
no, I continued in working on my first album, and I
Right.
wouldn't have done the first album if I hadn't left the Faith Band. So
Yeah.
and Barnsley was with me at the time, and Carl let me come out to his house where the band was all set up and practice with Barnsley for the album. So
Yeah.
everything worked out. Everything, and,
Right.
and Carl and I still remain, great friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Barnsley too, So like I say, I'm good friends with 95 or more percentile of the guys I've ever played with. So
Well, and you're winning Mel over, so there's.
I'd like to play drums for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
that'd be fun.
yeah.
So anyway, you forgot to ask me about Ringo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Let's end with Ringo. I mean, all right. So you're let's go back. You're in New York City.
New York City.
You're out there. Are you supporting your first album, or are you out there introducing it?
Well, a little bit both. What it was a showcase to get a record deal.
Okay.
And so
right.
that's what Dave hired.
Okay.
Dave had he contacted most of the heavy record companies to come and hear me.
And they all sent their A&R people to see your sets.
Well, maybe not all of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the attendance. I don't. But I do know some of the attendance. I know the important attendance. So I went up. This was the second night, and after Billy Joel, after I came down actually I didn't even get. Well, I've done a lot of those kind of jobs, so I never got scared or frightened. But I'd done so many of them that it smoothed me over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I still, whenever I went out, was doing a concert in an arena or something like that, which was not often. But whenever I did, I'd get the chills. Absolutely, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But but I didn't all the time. I didn't. And I think the smallest gigs I did, maybe I got the more chills from. But anyway, so the second night, I went up with JP, who owned the place. Jimmy was his name. I went upstairs with him just for a moment at the break, short break. Went up there and came back down. And when we shut the door to his place, he says, "Oh, by the way, Ringo walked in when we were coming up the steps." And that's the by the way. and I said, cool, that's cool, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I was excited about it. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I could say if I walked up and saw Ringo. Geez, I've been idolizing these guys for most of my life.
Probably say hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Well, let me say something to both you guys, and I'm sure you can dig this, appreciate this. When you're playing a gig, that's your turf.
Yeah.
When you're playing with your band, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's solo, if it's if you're doing a single, if you're playing with a band, whatever configuration you've got, you're playing, and so that's your gig.
Yeah.
So
it's your stage.
That gives you
a command, a sense of command, a feeling
it
of.
gives you security.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that you're doing what you do best, and you know what you're doing when you're up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. That's where you have total self-confidence. I do.
Yeah.
and you guys do too, I'm sure.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so you can do marvelous things when you're in that kind of setting that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I can't. I mean, I I might say something to a pretty girl if I'm on stage that I wouldn't if I weren't. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
I wouldn't have the confidence, but up on stage, since I know what I'm doing, I would.
yeah,
You know? So anyway, so I didn't get all fluttery or anything else. I was excited about it, and it's on tape, and that's my point. This next album, this next one, since it's already done, it's already finished. I haven't done the cover yet, but it doesn't matter. People don't have covers anymore, do they?
They're thumbnails now. There's not really any albums or anything to cover anymore for the most part. I mean, there are select things that are still vinyl and done in wax, but most of the stuff's digital now. So I guess a thumbnail, but some kind of art, yeah.
Well, I have the artwork for both of these albums. Actually, it's pretty amazing how the artwork came to be. But I've got the match cover and my thing from the Village Voice, the advertisement that I'm playing at JP's, and that's pretty cool right there. And so I'm going to put that on the cover, and I'm going to put the matchbook cover on that on one of the corners and whatever, and then. So that was already remastered. I just need to put that cover together, and that's it. It's done. And then the other ones, I don't know if I should say. Maybe I should hold that.
Hold that until the next episode.
I'll hold that to the next episode.
Okay. All right.
That one's going to be after this one anyway.
We've got Night People up on the screen for everyone right now. Moonlit Night specifically is the song. From Night People on it's available on YouTube. Real quick,
that's interesting.
I like this song. I like it's got kind of a reggae funky feel to it that I dig personally. But
you mean the song Night People?
Yeah.
That's Murphy and Boo and I doing that on there.
Oh,
okay, cool.
I'll tell you this little secret. It's not being a secret now, but it doesn't matter. The album, the vinyl album, is different from the CD.
Oh.
How so?
Well, I'll tell you exactly how so. Since I produced both of them, I had total control of whatever went and produced whatever happened to them. Okay, and so I was in a bad automobile accident in a coma in 1978, and when I awakened, I had to relearn everything all over again. Walking, talking, playing music is the last thing. I had to learn everything. And when I did that album, Night People album, I wasn't totally recovered. And Dave Lucas said, Michael, I don't know what, because I wanted him to help me out on that, and he didn't particularly think I was ready to. And he was correct. He was right. And but I thought I was, or at least I hoped I was, and I wasn't quite. And so by the time and I wasn't really crazy about that particular album, where I was the first album, very much so. But then so when the CDs came around and I'm out in California and it's time to albums were out of date and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Vinyl was, and so I decided to. Well, there were 3 cuts. Oh, Murphy and I and Rick did a demo in between the time that I did the first album to make the night complete at Moe's and the second album at Moe's, Night People. We did a demo at Moe's of 4 songs, and a pretty good demo. I felt it was solid. I felt really good about that demo, and it was all my own music at the time, as Murphy and Rick and I, and three of those 4 songs were on Night People. So I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but I extracted the 3 songs that were on the vinyl album of Night People, and Rick was playing drums on all 3 of those songs. But you could just, God, it was a night and day the difference of his feel when Murphy was on there. It was just a different feel, and so I replaced those 3 with 3 more that we did, and that Murphy and I and Rick did on the demo. Do you understand what I'm saying about that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're making perfect sense.
Okay, so already the album has improved. You know, however many percent, 33% or whatever. And then there was a fourth song that was on the demo that we did of mine that was not on the Night People album at all, and it was called Family.
Okay.
So the 3 songs that I took out and they were replaced by the same songs that we did on the demo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny Casella was on this one. He was playing sax on the demo, and he wasn't on the I don't think the album on that. But so right there, the better. And then Family was the song that was not on the original album, and it's a good song. I mean, it's my siblings don't. They didn't seem to. I don't know if they even listened to it, but they. I'm serious when I say that. They're not musicians, you know. Yeah. But they're siblings, but that doesn't matter. but anyway, so now the CD has 3 better versions of 3 of the songs, and also has a bonus that wasn't on the original. And so
and that's really the bonus is Family.
That's called Family.
Yeah, that's the bonus track. That's not correct. On the. It's on the CD, but not on the album.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah. And then so that's my answer to that, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, we will. Melvis, you got.
I was going to ask him about Chick Brown. How'd you like playing with Chick?
Chick is really something. He's I remember Chick from when he was going. He was like a groupie kind of guy, which I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Yeah.
He was a groupie kind of guy around the right bands.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean forgive me, Chick, if you hear this. I don't mean that in a bad way, because he used to show up at all the Faith gigs when they played in Muncie, and not just Muncie, other places, and other bands too. And I didn't even know Chick played until later on, and then when it became time to play with him, I was just blown away.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Just blown away. Yeah.
He played with us in the mid '70s. And that was, we came home in like '78, and that's when you guys played at Emmons with Pablo Cruz. And I was up there, I thought, that's Chick Brown. He was just with us before that. But he's a great player.
He sure is.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Well, J. Michael, we thank you so much, man, for sharing everything with us, for talking with us. And we got to have a part 2 because we haven't covered close to everything yet. And let's do something before, when you're ready to put out your first live album. Let's get back together on here if we don't do it before then.
Okay, absolutely. And the second live album was recorded right here in Indianapolis.
Cool.
Cool.
live. So
All
Cool.
right.
that's why I didn't want to mention too much about it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to get something together. We're going to try to have an Indiana Rocks Hall of Fame jam, and
Let's do it.
try to get everybody together. So you're in if we can put this together.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, brother. We greatly appreciate that. And again, thank you so much. We just
Awesome.
Thank you.
and we will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. I hope I didn't step on my toes right now.
You did, man. It was great. It was
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one final thing we got to say. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, leave a comment below, and God bless all of you. We love you all.